First contact. Humans encounter the Galactic Confederation. The vast emptiness of space stretched before Captain Zara Chen as she stood on the bridge of the ESS Curiosity, Earth's most advanced deep space exploration vessel. The ship's sleek design and state-of-the-art propulsion system had carried them farther into the unknown than any human had ever ventured before. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous energy signature," reported Lieutenant Aiden Reeves, his eyes fixed on the holographic display before him. "It's unlike anything we've ever encountered." Zara leaned forward, her interest piqued. "Can you pinpoint its location?" "Yes, ma'am. It's coming from a region of space about 2 light-years ahead of us." A smile played on Zara's lips. This was exactly the kind of discovery they'd hoped for when they'd embarked on this mission. "All right, let's check it out. Helm, set a course for the source of that signature." As the Curiosity approached the coordinates, the crew's excitement grew palpable. They'd encountered plenty of fascinating phenomena during their journey, but something about this felt different. Special. Suddenly, the ship's sensors lit up like a Christmas tree. "Captain," Aiden called out, his voice a mix of awe and disbelief. "We're detecting multiple vessels. Massive ones. They just appeared out of nowhere." Before Zara could respond, a transmission crackled through the ship's communication system. The voice that came through was unlike anything they'd ever heard before. A symphony of tones and frequencies that somehow coalesced into understandable speech. "Unidentified vessel, you have entered the sovereign territory of the Galactic Confederation. State your intentions immediately." The bridge fell silent, the weight of the moment pressing down on every crew member. Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization was happening, and it was up to them to handle it. Zara took a deep breath, steadying herself. "This is Captain Zara Chen of the Earth spaceship Curiosity. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration and mean no harm or trespass. We were unaware of any territorial boundaries in this region of space." There was a pause that seemed to stretch for eternity before the alien voice responded. "Earth, we have no record of this world or its species in our database. Prepare to be boarded for inspection and cataloging." Alarm spread through the crew. Zara's mind raced, weighing their options. They were vastly outgunned and in unknown territory. Fighting wasn't an option, but neither was rolling over and potentially endangering Earth. "I'm afraid we can't allow that," Zara replied, her voice firm but diplomatic. "We are representatives of a sovereign planet and have our own protocols for first contact situations. Perhaps we could arrange a meeting on neutral ground to discuss this situation further." Another pause, longer this time. Zara could almost feel the confusion and indecision radiating from the alien vessels. It was clear they weren't used to being refused. Finally, the voice returned. "Your proposal is unexpected. We will consult with our superiors. Stand by." As they waited, Zara turned to her crew. "Opinions?" Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's xenobiologist, spoke up. "This Galactic Confederation seems highly organized and bureaucratic. They're probably not used to dealing with completely unknown species. We might be able to use that to our advantage." Aiden nodded in agreement. They also seemed pretty rigid in their thinking. "Did you notice how thrown off they were when we didn't immediately comply?" Zara considered this. "Good observations. Let's keep that in mind moving forward. Whatever happens, remember, we're representing all of humanity here. Let's show them what we're made of." The alien voice returned, interrupting their discussion. "Your request has been granted, under strict conditions. You will dock with our diplomatic vessel. A limited number of your crew will be allowed to board for discussions. Be advised that any hostile action will be met with immediate and overwhelming force." Zara exchanged glances with her senior staff. This was it. Humanity's first step onto the galactic stage. "Understood," she replied. "We accept your terms and look forward to a productive dialogue." As the Curiosity maneuvered towards the massive alien ship, Zara couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They were about to make history, but one wrong move could spell disaster for Earth. The docking procedure was surprisingly smooth, considering the vast technological differences between the two vessels. As Zara led a small team including Dr. Tanaka and Lieutenant Reeves towards the airlock, she reminded them of their mission. Remember, we're here to learn, but also to represent Earth's interests. Be respectful, but don't let them push us around. We may be new to their galaxy, but we're not pushovers. As the airlock cycled open, they got their first look at the representatives of the Galactic Confederation. The aliens before them were a sight to behold. Tall, willowy beings with iridescent skin that seemed to shimmer with colors that shouldn't exist. Their eyes, large and multifaceted, regarded the humans with what seemed like a mixture of curiosity and disdain. One of the aliens stepped forward, its movements fluid and graceful. I am High Counselor Terra of the Galactic Confederation. You stand accused of unlawful entry into Confederation space and failure to comply with standard protocols. How do you plead? Zara blinked, taken aback by the formal accusation. This wasn't quite the welcome she'd expected. But she quickly regained her composure, drawing on years of diplomatic training. High Counselor, we plead neither guilty nor innocent, as we were unaware of any laws we might have broken. We are explorers from a planet called Earth, venturing into the stars for the first time. We come in peace and with an earnest desire to learn about the wider galaxy. Terra's multifaceted eyes flickered with what might have been surprise. You claim to be unaware of the Confederation's laws. Impossible. All sentient species are made aware of our regulations upon achieving faster-than-light travel. Dr. Tanaka stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her awe. If I may, High Counselor, our method of faster-than-light travel is entirely of our own design. We've had no contact with any alien civilizations prior to this moment. The alien delegation buzzed with conversation at this revelation. Terra held up a hand, silencing them. You expect us to believe that a primitive species independently developed FTL technology without guidance? Preposterous. Aiden, usually the quietest of the group, couldn't hold back a chuckle. With all due respect, High Counselor, humans have a knack for doing the impossible. It's kind of our thing. Terra's eyes narrowed, clearly not appreciating the humor. Your claims will be investigated thoroughly. In the meantime, you will submit to a full scan of your vessel and crew. Any resistance will be treated as an act of aggression. Zara felt her patience wearing thin. It was time to change the dynamic of this conversation. High Counselor, while we appreciate your position, I must remind you that we are representatives of a sovereign world. We've agreed to this meeting in good faith, but we will not submit to demands or threats. Perhaps we could start over. We have much to learn from each other, I'm sure. The aliens seemed taken aback by this show of backbone. Terra regarded Zara with newfound interest. You are not what we expected, Captain Chen. Very well. Let us dispense with accusations and begin anew. Tell us of your Earth. And so began a long and fascinating exchange. The humans shared stories of Earth's history, its diverse cultures and ecosystems, its triumphs and struggles. They spoke of humanity's insatiable curiosity, its drive to explore and understand the universe around them. In turn, they learned of the Galactic Confederation, a massive coalition of thousands of alien races spanning a significant portion of the Milky Way. The Confederation prided itself on bringing order and civilization to the chaotic expanse of space, integrating new species into its complex societal structure. As the hours passed, it became clear that humanity's entrance onto the galactic stage was going to shake things up. The Confederation was used to dealing with young races in awe of their advanced technology and eager to join their ranks. Humanity, with its independent spirit and homegrown technological marvels, didn't fit neatly into their usual categories. Your species is unusual, Terra admitted as their initial meeting drew to a close. You've given us much to consider. We will need to consult with the full Confederation Council to determine how to proceed. Zara nodded, feeling a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. We understand. We have much to report back to our own leadership as well. Perhaps we could arrange further meetings to continue our dialogue. Zixtera agreed, and as the human delegation prepared to return to the Curiosity, the alien added one last comment. I must admit, Captain Chen, your species intrigues me. I look forward to seeing what other surprises you have in store for us. As they made their way back to their ship, Aiden couldn't contain his excitement. Did you see their faces when we told them about the internet? I thought that one alien was going to faint. Dr. Tanaka nodded, her mind already racing with the possibilities. Their biotechnology is fascinating, but they seemed genuinely impressed by some of our medical advancements. I can't wait to compare notes with their scientists. Zara listened to her crew's enthusiastic chatter with a smile, but her mind was already looking ahead. This first contact had gone well, all things considered, but it was just the beginning. Humanity had stepped onto a much larger stage, and the real challenges were yet to come. As the Curiosity disengaged from the alien vessel, Zara gazed out at the star-studded expanse before them. Somewhere out there was Earth, blissfully unaware of the monumental shift that had just occurred. Their little blue planet was no longer alone in the universe, and nothing would ever be the same again. Helm, she said, turning to her navigation officer, set a course for home. We got one hell of a report to deliver. As the ship's engines hummed to life, propelling them back towards Earth, Zara couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity had faced its first extraterrestrial challenge and held its own. They'd shown the Galactic Confederation that Earth wasn't just another primitive world to be assimilated, but a force to be reckoned with. The journey home would be long, but Zara knew it was just the first step in humanity's greatest adventure yet. The galaxy was waiting, and Earth was ready to make its mark among the stars. The diplomatic dance. Humans outsmart alien bureaucracy. The news of humanity's first contact with the Galactic Confederation spread across Earth like wildfire. Governments scrambled. The public alternated between excitement and fear, and the scientific community was in an uproar. In the midst of this chaos, Captain Zara Chen and her crew found themselves thrust into the spotlight as humanity's first ambassadors to the stars. 6 months after their return, Zara stood before the newly formed Earth Diplomatic Court, preparing to lead a mission that would shape humanity's future in the galaxy. The Galactic Confederation had finally extended an official invitation for Earth to send representatives to their capital world, Centaurus Prime. Remember, Admiral Yuki Tanaka, formerly the Curiosity's xenobiologist and now head of the EDC, addressed the assembled team. The Confederation is vast and ancient. They're set in their ways and not used to species that don't fit neatly into their categories. Our job is to secure Earth's independence while still fostering positive relations. Zara nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. We've studied their protocols, but we're ready to improvise if needed. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our adaptability. As they boarded the newly christened ESS Diplomat, a vessel specifically designed for this mission, Zara couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They were about to enter a political arena unlike anything humanity had ever experienced. The journey to Centaurus Prime took several weeks, even with their advanced FTL drive. As they approached the planet, the crew was awestruck by the sight that greeted them. Centaurus Prime was a ecumenopolis, a planet-wide city that gleamed with the accumulated knowledge and power of thousands of civilizations. As they docked at the massive space station orbiting the planet, they were met by a familiar face, High Counselor Zixtera. Welcome to Centaurus Prime, representatives of Earth. The alien greeted them, its iridescent skin shimmering with what Zara had learned to recognize as a mix of curiosity and apprehension. The Confederation Council awaits your presentation. As they were escorted through the winding corridors of the station, Zara and her team marveled at the diversity of alien life forms they encountered. Species of all shapes, sizes, and compositions bustled about, a testament to the vast reach of the Confederation. Finally, they arrived at the council chambers, a cavernous room dominated by a circular platform surrounded by tiered seating. Thousands of alien delegates watched as the human team took their place at the center. The head of the council, a being of pure energy contained within a translucent shell, spoke. Its voice resonated directly in their minds. Representatives of Earth, you stand before the Galactic Confederation Council. We have reviewed your case and are prepared to offer you membership in our esteemed organization. Do you accept? Zara stepped forward, her voice clear and confident. Esteemed Council, on behalf of Earth, we thank you for this generous offer. However, before we can make such a monumental decision, we have some questions and concerns we'd like to address. A murmur rippled through the assembled aliens. It was clear they weren't used to new species questioning the honor of Confederation membership. Proceed, the council head said, a note of surprise in its mental voice. Zara launched into a series of inquiries about the rights of member species, the Confederation's policies on technological development, and the extent of autonomy individual worlds were allowed to maintain. With each question, the Council's confusion seemed to grow. These matters are all clearly outlined in the Confederation Charter. One council member, a reptilian being, hissed. All species are expected to adhere to our established protocols. Aidan Reeves, now Earth's chief analyst, spoke up. With all due respect, we've reviewed your charter. Many of its clauses seem to heavily favor the founding species of the Confederation. Newer members appear to have limited say in galactic affairs. Another ripple of discomfort passed through the council. Zix Terra stepped forward, its multifaceted eyes fixed on Zara. Captain Chen, surely you understand the honor being bestowed upon your species. Many young races wait centuries for an invitation to join our ranks. Zara nodded, her expression respectful but firm. We do understand, High Counselor, and we're deeply appreciative. But Earth has its own rich history, culture, and technological advancements. We're not looking to be simply assimilated into the Confederation. We want to be partners, to contribute as equals. The council chamber erupted into chaos. Some delegates seemed outraged at Earth's audacity, while others appeared intrigued by this unusual approach. The council head raised its appendages, calling for order. This is most irregular. Never in our history has a species negotiated the terms of their membership. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Earth's lead diplomat, saw an opportunity. Perhaps that's exactly why it's needed. The galaxy is vast and ever-changing. Shouldn't the Confederation's policies evolve as well? This statement seemed to resonate with some of the younger species representatives. Murmurs of agreement could be heard from various corners of the chamber. Sensing the shifting mood, Zara pressed on. We propose a new type of membership, one that allows Earth to maintain its autonomy while still contributing to and benefiting from the Confederation's vast knowledge and resources. The council head's energy form flickered, a sign of deep contemplation. Your proposal is unprecedented. We will need time to discuss this matter privately. As the human delegation was escorted out of the chamber, Zara could feel the weight of thousands of alien eyes upon them. They had just challenged centuries of Confederation protocol, and the outcome was far from certain. Hours passed as they waited in a luxurious antechamber. The team used this time to refine their strategies, preparing for any possible response from the council. Finally, they were summoned back. The atmosphere in the chamber was tense as they retook their positions at the center. The council head spoke, its mental voice carefully neutral. Representatives of Earth, your proposal has sparked much debate among our members. It has become clear that your species is unique in its approach to galactic affairs. Zara held her breath, waiting for the verdict. After much deliberation, we have decided to offer Earth a provisional special status within the Confederation. You will have access to our knowledge bases and trade networks, but will maintain a greater degree of autonomy than standard members. In return, We expect Earth to share its innovations and participate in Confederation peacekeeping efforts when called upon." The human team exchanged glances, barely able to contain their excitement. This was more than they had dared hope for. Zara stepped forward, her voice steadied despite her racing heart. "On behalf of Earth, we accept your generous offer. We look forward to a long and mutually beneficial relationship with the Galactic Confederation." As the formal proceedings concluded, Zara and her team found themselves surrounded by curious alien delegates. Many seemed eager to learn more about this strange species that had managed to negotiate with the notoriously inflexible Confederation Council. Zixtera approached them, its iridescent skin shimmering with what Zara now recognized as respect. "I must admit, Captain Chin, your species continues to surprise us. This is the beginning of a new era for the Confederation." Zara smiled, feeling a mix of pride and anticipation. "And for Earth as well, High Counselor. We have much to learn from each other." As they prepared to return to the diplomat, Dr. Rodriguez couldn't contain her excitement. "Do you realize what we've just accomplished? We've not only secured Earth's place in the galaxy, but potentially opened the door for reform within the Confederation itself." Aiden nodded, his analytical mind already racing with possibilities. "The real work begins now. We need to carefully navigate this new relationship, balancing cooperation with maintaining our independence." Zara listened to her team's enthusiastic discussions, her own mind already looking ahead to the challenges and opportunities that awaited them. Earth had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and it had done so on its own terms. As they boarded their ship, Zara took one last look at the sprawling metropolis of Centaurus Prime. Humanity had faced its first major diplomatic challenge in the galactic arena and had emerged victorious. But this was just the beginning. The journey back to Earth was filled with intense planning and preparation. They had won a significant victory, but now they had to figure out how to implement this unprecedented arrangement. Upon their return, they were met with a hero's welcome. The news of their diplomatic triumph had preceded them, and the people of Earth were ecstatic. Humanity had stood toe-to-toe with an ancient galactic civilization and had not only held its ground but had changed the rules of the game. In the months that followed, Earth underwent a transformation. The influx of knowledge from the Confederation's databases accelerated human technological development at an unprecedented rate. But true to their word, humans also began sharing their unique innovations with their new galactic allies. Earth's creative approach to problem-solving and its ability to think outside the box quickly gained recognition throughout the Confederation. Other younger species, inspired by Earth's example, began to push for reforms within the rigid structure of the galactic government. Zara, now serving as Earth's official ambassador to the Confederation, found herself at the center of a galactic revolution. The diplomatic dance she had begun on Centaurus Prime had sparked a movement that was reshaping the very foundations of the Galactic Confederation. As she stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Earth Embassy on Centaurus Prime, watching the swirling traffic of thousands of alien ships, Zara reflected on how far they had come. Humanity had not just joined the galactic community, it had changed it, bringing its unique spirit of innovation, adaptability, and determination to the stars. The galaxy would never be the same again, and Zara couldn't wait to see what the future held. As she turned to prepare for another round of negotiations, she smiled to herself. The diplomatic dance continued, and humanity was leading the way. Technological triumph. Earth's innovations shocked the stars. 5 years had passed since Earth's groundbreaking entry into the Galactic Confederation. In that time, humanity had experienced a renaissance of scientific and technological advancement unlike anything in its history. The knowledge gained from the Confederation's vast databases had catapulted human understanding forward by centuries. But it wasn't just a one-way exchange. Dr. Aidan Reeves stood before the Galactic Science Council, a subset of the Confederation dedicated to technological advancement. The chamber was filled with the most brilliant minds from thousands of alien species, all eagerly awaiting his presentation. Esteemed colleagues, Aiden began, his voice steady despite his nervousness. Today, I'm here to present a revolutionary breakthrough in energy production that we believe will change the face of the galaxy. The assembled aliens leaned forward, their various sensory organs focused intently on the human scientist. Earth's reputation for unconventional thinking had grown over the years, and its presentations were always highly anticipated. Aiden activated a holographic display, showing a complex schematic. We call it the quantum flux reactor. It harnesses the energy of quantum fluctuations in a way previously thought impossible, providing clean, nearly limitless energy with minimal environmental impact. The chamber erupted into a cacophony of excited chatter. Species that communicated through light flashed in rapid patterns, while others vibrated or emitted complex pheromones. The universal translators worked overtime to keep up with the flurry of questions and exclamations. High Scientist Zorax, a gaseous being contained within a high-tech suit, floated forward. Dr. Reeves, this is astounding. Our top minds have been working on quantum energy extraction for millennia. How did your species achieve this in mere years? Aiden smiled, remembering the countless late nights and caffeine-fueled brainstorming sessions that had led to this moment. It was a combination of factors. High Scientist. The knowledge we gained from the Confederation databases was crucial, but it was our unique approach that made the breakthrough possible. He went on to explain how human scientists had combined principles from quantum mechanics, chaos theory, and even ancient Earth philosophies to approach the problem from an entirely new angle. The alien scientists listened in rapt attention, their own vast knowledge being challenged and expanded by this upstart species from a backwater part of the galaxy. As Aiden delved into the technical details of the quantum flux reactor, he could see the excitement building in the chamber. The implications of this technology were staggering. Entire planets could be powered without the need for harmful resource extraction. Starships could traverse the galaxy more efficiently than ever before. The energy crisis that had plagued many Confederation worlds could become a thing of the past. But that's not all. Aiden continued, barely containing his own excitement. We believe this technology can be adapted to create more stable wormholes, potentially revolutionizing galactic transportation. The chamber fell silent for a moment before erupting into an even louder frenzy of discussion. Stable wormhole technology had been the holy grail of Confederation science for eons. If Earth had truly cracked this problem, it would change everything. As the presentation concluded, Aiden found himself surrounded by alien scientists, all eager to discuss the implications of the quantum flux reactor. The excitement was palpable, but he couldn't help but notice a few concerned glances being exchanged among some of the older, more established species. Later, as he was preparing to return to the Earth Embassy, he was approached by Zixtara, the High Counselor who had been present at humanity's first contact years ago. Dr. Reeves, Zixtara said, its multifaceted eyes gleaming with a mix of admiration and concern. Your presentation today was nothing short of revolutionary. But I must warn you, such rapid advancement is unsettling to some members of the Confederation. Aiden frowned, sensing the underlying tension in the alien's words. Unsettling. But isn't progress the goal of the Science Council? Zixtara's iridescent skin shimmered with what Aiden had learned to recognize as discomfort. Progress, yes, but controlled and predictable progress. Your species' rate of innovation is unprecedented. It's causing concern among some of the older races. Before Aiden could respond, they were interrupted by a group of enthusiastic young alien scientists, eager to discuss potential collaborations. Zixtara slipped away, leaving Aiden to ponder the implications of its warning. Back at the Earth Embassy, Aiden reported the day's events to Ambassador Zara Chen. The former starship captain had seamlessly transitioned into her role as humanity's chief diplomat, navigating the complex waters of galactic politics with the same skill she had once used to pilot ships through asteroid fields. It was an incredible success, Aiden concluded, but Zixtara's warning has me worried. Are we moving too fast? Zara considered this, her years of experience evident in her thoughtful expression. We're challenging the status quo, Aiden. That's bound to ruffle some feathers, or tentacles, as the case may be. But we can't hold ourselves back out of fear of upsetting the established order. That's not who we are. She stood, moving to the window that overlooked the glittering expanse of Centaurus Prime. Humanity has always pushed boundaries. It's in our nature to explore, to innovate, to question. That's why we've come so far in such a short time. We're not just adapting to the galactic community, we're helping to shape its future. Aiden nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. So what's our next move? Zara turned back to him, a determined glint in her eye. We continue to innovate, but we also need to build stronger alliances. The younger races are excited by our advancements. We need to foster those relationships, create a coalition of forward-thinking species. Change is coming to the Confederation, whether the old guard likes it or not. Over the next few months, Earth's embassy became a hub of activity. Scientists from hundreds of worlds flocked to collaborate on the quantum flux reactor project. The excitement surrounding Earth's innovations continued to grow, spreading to other fields as well. Human medical techniques, combining advanced technology with holistic approaches, began to revolutionize Confederation healthcare. Earth's environmental restoration methods, born from centuries of dealing with pollution and climate change, offered hope to worlds struggling with ecological disasters. But perhaps most impactful was the human approach to problem-solving itself. The Earth delegation introduced the concept of interdisciplinary think tanks, bringing together experts from vastly different fields to tackle complex issues. This approach, so natural to humans, but revolutionary to the highly specialized Confederation races, led to breakthroughs in areas that had been stagnant for centuries. As Earth's influence grew, so did the tension with some of the Confederation's founding races. Whispers began to circulate about the dangers of allowing such a young species to advance so quickly. Some even suggested that humanity's special status within the Confederation should be revoked. The situation came to a head at a full session of the Confederation Council. Ambassador Chen stood before the assembled delegates, facing accusations that Earth was destabilizing the carefully maintained balance of the galactic community. Honorable delegates, Zara began, her voice calm but forceful. I stand before you today not to apologize for Earth's advancements, but to celebrate them, and to invite you all to join us in shaping a brighter future for our entire galaxy. She paused, letting her words sink in before continuing. Change can be frightening, especially for civilizations as ancient and established as many of yours. But stagnation is a far greater threat. The universe is vast and full of wonders yet to be discovered, challenges yet to be overcome. We cannot meet the future by clinging to the past. Zara gestured to the various alien delegates. Look around you. Every species here has something unique to offer, some perspective or ability that no other race possesses. Imagine what we could achieve if we truly collaborated, combining our strengths instead of jealously guarding our advantages. The chamber was silent, all eyes, and other sensory organs, fixed on the human ambassador. Earth doesn't seek to dominate or outshine anyone. Zora continued. We want to work alongside you all, to pool our knowledge and creativity for the betterment of all. The quantum flux reactor isn't just a human achievement. It's built on the foundation of knowledge shared by the Confederation, and its benefits will be shared with all. She took a deep breath, preparing for her final push. I propose the formation of a new Confederation initiative, a collaborative effort, open to all member races, dedicated to pushing the boundaries of our collective knowledge. Together, we can solve problems that have plagued our civilizations for eons. Together, we can explore deeper into the cosmos than ever before. Together, we can ensure that the Galactic Confederation remains a beacon of progress and hope for millennia to come. As Zara concluded her speech, the council chamber erupted into a frenzy of discussion. Many of the younger races were openly supportive, while some of the older, more conservative species seemed conflicted. In the end, it was High Counselor Zixtera who tipped the balance. The alien who had once been skeptical of humanity's rapid rise now floated to the center of the chamber. "I have watched the humans since their first arrival in Confederation space," Zixterra announced, its iridescent skin shimmering with conviction. "They have consistently surprised and challenged us, and in doing so, they have made us question our assumptions and push beyond our limitations. I, for one, believe that Ambassador Chen's proposal merits serious consideration." The vote that followed was close, but in the end, the initiative passed. As the session adjourned, Zara found herself surrounded by a mix of excited supporters and curious skeptics, all eager to discuss the implications of this new collaborative effort. As she made her way back to the Earth Embassy, accompanied by Aiden and the rest of her team, Zara felt a sense of profound accomplishment, tinged with the weight of new responsibilities. "Well done, Ambassador," Aiden said, grinning broadly. "You've just reshaped Confederation policy. Again." Zara laughed, the tension of the past few hours finally releasing. "We've reshaped it, Aiden. All of us. And this is just the beginning." As they looked out over the glittering expanse of Centaurus Prime, Zara couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at how far they'd come. From a single ship stumbling upon the Galactic Confederation to a driving force for change in the galaxy, humanity had proven itself time and time again. The road ahead would not be easy. There would be challenges to face, resistances to overcome. But as she watched the bustling activity of countless alien species going about their lives, Zara felt a surge of optimism. Humanity had brought its unique spark to the stars, igniting a flame of innovation and collaboration that was spreading across the galaxy. The future was unwritten, full of possibilities waiting to be explored. And Earth, once a tiny blue marble isolated in the cosmic ocean, was now at the heart of it all. As the team began to discuss their next steps, Zara smiled to herself. The greatest adventure in human history was just beginning, and she couldn't wait to see where it would lead them next. The Galactic Challenge. Humans proved their worth. 10 years had passed since Earth's groundbreaking entry into the Galactic Confederation. The collaborative initiative proposed by Ambassador Zara Chen had grown into a thriving interspecies think tank known as the Cosmic Convergence. This melting pot of ideas and innovations had led to unprecedented advancements across multiple fields, from medicine to terraforming, from artificial intelligence to faster-than-light travel. But not everyone in the galaxy was pleased with the rapid pace of change. A coalition of conservative species, led by the ancient and mysterious Arcturians, had been growing increasingly vocal in their opposition to Earth's influence. They argued that humanity's reckless progress was destabilizing the careful balance that had kept the galaxy peaceful for millennia. It was against this backdrop of simmering tension that the Galactic Confederation faced its greatest crisis in living memory. The emergency session of the Confederation Council was called with such urgency that some delegates were still in their sleep cycles when they arrived. The chamber buzzed with nervous energy as High Counselor Zixterra took the central podium, its usually shimmering skin now a dull, worried gray. "Esteemed delegates," Zixterra began, its voice uncharacteristically grim. "We face a threat unlike any in our recorded history. A massive void storm has been detected on the edge of our galaxy, and it's growing at an alarming rate." The holographic display at the center of the chamber flickered to life, showing a swirling mass of dark energy that seemed to devour everything in its path. Gasps and murmurs of fear rippled through the assembled aliens. "Our scientists estimate that if left unchecked, this storm will consume nearly a third of the Confederation's territory within a standard galactic year. Billions of lives are at risk." The chamber erupted into chaos. Delegates shouted questions and demands, while others sat in stunned silence. Zara exchanged worried glances with Dr. Aiden Reeves, who had become Earth's chief scientist on Centaurus Prime. Zixterra raised its appendages, calling for order. "We've assembled our finest minds to find a solution, but so far, all attempts to dissipate or contain the storm have failed. We are open to suggestions. In the tense silence that followed, Zara stood up. All eyes turned to the human ambassador. "High Counselor, esteemed delegates," she began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "Earth volunteers to lead a mission to stop this void storm." The chamber exploded into a mix of hopeful murmurs and skeptical outcries. An Arcturian delegate, its crystalline body glowing with barely contained anger, spoke up. "This is preposterous. The humans have been members of the Confederation for barely a moment in cosmic time. How dare they presume to solve a crisis that our most ancient civilizations cannot?" Zara held her ground. "With all due respect, it's precisely because we're newcomers that we might be able to approach this problem from a fresh perspective. The cosmic convergence has shown how combining diverse viewpoints can lead to breakthrough solutions. We don't claim to have all the answers, but we're willing to try." Before the Arcturian could retort, Aiden stepped forward. "If I may, we have a proposal. The quantum flux reactor technology we developed might be able to counteract the void storm's energy signature. But we'll need to modify it significantly, and we'll need help from experts across the Confederation to make it work." The council chamber fell into deep discussion. Many were skeptical, but as the holographic display showed the void storm's relentless advance, it became clear that they had few other options. Finally, High Counselor Zixtera spoke. "The Council accepts Earth's proposal. Ambassador Chen, you will lead this mission. You have the full resources of the Confederation at your disposal. The fate of our civilization rests in your hands." The next few weeks were a whirlwind of activity. The newly christened Operation Stormbreaker brought together the brightest minds from across the galaxy. The cavernous hangars of Centaurus Prime buzzed with activity as a fleet of ships was outfitted with experimental void-resistant shielding. At the center of it all was the ESS Horizon, Earth's most advanced ship, now modified to carry the prototype quantum void disruptor, a massive version of the quantum flux reactor designed to counteract the storm's energy. As the day of launch approached, Zara found herself in the Horizon's observation lounge, staring out at the bustling activity of the space station. She felt a presence beside her and turned to see Zixtera. "Having second thoughts, Ambassador?" the alien asked, its skin shifting through worried hues. Zara shook her head. "No, just contemplating the enormity of what we're about to attempt. When we first stumbled into Confederation space, I never imagined we'd be in this position." Zixtera's multifaceted eyes seemed to soften. "You've come a long way in a short time. I must admit, when we first met, I thought your species was brash and overconfident. Now I'm grateful for that human spirit. We need it more than ever." As they watched the final preparations, Zora couldn't help but feel a swell of pride. Humans were working alongside dozens of alien species, all united in a common goal. This, she thought, was what the Confederation could be at its best. The launch day arrived with a mix of solemnity and hope. As the Horizon led the fleet out of Centaurus Prime's orbit, cheers and good wishes flooded the communication channels from countless worlds. The journey to the edge of the void storm took several weeks, even with the fleet's advanced FTL drives. As they approached, the crew got their first real look at the phenomenon they were up against. The void storm was a maelstrom of dark energy, swirling and pulsing with malevolent purpose. Entire star systems on its edge were being twisted and torn apart. The sight was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. On the bridge of the Horizon, Zara turned to her diverse crew. Humans stood alongside Zixtera's people, Arcturians, and a dozen other species. Each brought unique skills and perspectives to the mission. "This is it," she said, her voice carrying across the tense silence. "Everything we've worked for comes down to this moment. No matter what happens, I want you all to know that it has been the greatest honor of my life to serve with you. Together, we represent the best of what the galaxy can be. Now, let's go save it." A chorus of affirmations rang out across the bridge. With a nod to her helmsman, Zara gave the order. "Take us in." The fleet plunged into the swirling chaos of the void storm. Almost immediately, alarms blared as the ship's shields strained against the onslaught of dark energy. The horizon shuddered and groaned, but held steady. Status report. Zara called out, gripping her command chair as the ship bucked beneath her. Aiden, monitoring the quantum void disruptor, responded. The QVD is functioning, but the storm's energy is more intense than we anticipated. We need to get closer to the eye to have any effect. Zara gritted her teeth. Helm, push us forward. All power to shields and the QVD. The horizon pressed deeper into the storm, the rest of the fleet forming a protective formation around it. On the view screen, Zora could see other ships faltering, their shields flickering under the strain. We're losing ships, the tactical officer reported, his voice tight with stress. Zara opened a channel to the fleet. All damaged vessels, fall back to a safe distance. We'll continue on. As they approached the eye of the storm, the quantum void disruptor began to have a visible effect. Tendrils of dark energy recoiled from the ship, creating a bubble of calm around the horizon. It's working. Aiden shouted over the din of groaning metal and blaring alarms. But we need more power to expand the effect. Zara looked around the bridge, seeing determination in the eyes of her multi-species crew. To divert all non-essential power to the QVD. Life support, weapons, everything. We end this now. The horizon's lights dimmed as power surged into the quantum void disruptor. The ship shuddered violently, pushed to its absolute limits. For a moment, it seemed like it might tear itself apart. And then, suddenly, there was silence. On the view screen, they watched in awe as the void storm began to collapse in on itself. The dark energy swirled faster and faster, compressing into a smaller and smaller space until, with a flash of blinding light, it winked out of existence. The bridge erupted into cheers and cries of relief. Aliens of a dozen species embraced each other, all differences forgotten in the joy of survival and victory. As the horizon limped back to the rest of the fleet, congratulatory messages poured in from across the galaxy. They had done it. Against all odds, they had saved the Confederation. The return to Centaurus Prime was marked by celebration unlike anything the galaxy had seen in millennia. Ships from thousands of worlds lined the approach to the capital, flashing lights and broadcasting messages of gratitude. As Zara and her crew disembarked, they were met with a hero's welcome. The Confederation Council, led by a beaming Zixtera, was there to greet them. Ambassador Chen, Zixtera said, its skin shimmering with joy and admiration, you and your team have accomplished the impossible. You've not only saved countless lives, but have shown us all what we can achieve when we work together. The Confederation owes you a debt that can never be repaid. Zara smiled, tired but proud. There's no debt, High Counselor. We're all part of this galaxy. We succeeded because we stood united. Human, Zixtera, Arcturian, and every other species, we're stronger together than we ever could be apart. As the celebrations continued, Zara couldn't help but reflect on how far they'd come. From first contact to saving the galaxy, humanity had proven its worth time and time again. But more than that, they had helped forge a new vision of what the Galactic Confederation could be. A true union of diverse species, each contributing their unique strengths to create something greater than the sum of its parts. The Void Storm crisis had been averted, but Zara knew that new challenges would always arise. Yet as she looked out at the sea of alien faces, all united in celebration, she felt a profound sense of hope for the future. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders, and humanity was now an integral part of it. Whatever came next, they would face it together, as part of this grand cosmic community. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning. A new era, humanity reshapes the cosmic order. 20 years had passed since the fateful day when the ESS Curiosity first stumbled upon the Galactic Confederation. In that time, humanity had gone from an unknown species to a driving force for change in the galaxy. The successful resolution of the Void Storm crisis had cemented Earth's position as a major player in galactic affairs. Ambassador Zara Chen stood before a mirror in her quarters on Centaurus Prime, adjusting her formal attire. Today was a day she had both eagerly anticipated and slightly dreaded: the Galactic Confederation's Centennial Assembly, a grand gathering of all member species held once every 100 years. As she prepared, her comm unit chimed. Dr. Aiden Reeves' holographic image appeared, a grin on his face. "Ready for the big day, Ambassador." Zara smiled at her old friend. "As ready as I'll ever be. How are things on your end?" Aiden's image flickered with excitement. "The cosmic convergence is buzzing with activity. The breakthroughs we've made in the past few years alone. Zara, I think we're on the verge of something big. Really big. Bigger than saving the galaxy from a void storm." Zara teased. Aiden's expression turned serious. "Potentially, yes. But I'll let you handle the politics first. See you at the assembly." As the communication ended, Zara took a deep breath. She knew that today's assembly would shape the future of the Confederation for centuries to come, and humanity would be at the center of it all. The Centennial Assembly was held in a massive amphitheater carved into the side of Centaurus Prime's largest mountain. As Zara took her place among the Earth delegation, she marveled at the sight before her. Tens of thousands of delegates from every corner of the galaxy filled the stands, a living tapestry of diverse life forms. High Counselor Zix Terra, now in its final year of service, took the central podium. Its iridescent skin shimmered with a mix of emotions: pride, nostalgia, and a hint of apprehension for the future. "Esteemed delegates," Zix Terra began, its voice echoing across the amphitheater. "We gather today to reflect on our past and chart our course for the future. The past century has seen more change than the previous millennium. We have faced unprecedented challenges and achieved unimaginable triumphs. And at the heart of much of this change has been our youngest member, humanity." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Zara could feel the weight of countless alien gazes upon her. Zix Terra continued, "Today, we must make a decision that will shape the future of our Confederation. For eons, we have operated under a system that favored the oldest and most established species. But recent events have shown us the value of new perspectives, of innovation and adaptability. It is time, I believe, for a new approach." The High Counselor's proposal was bold: a complete restructuring of the Confederation's governing body. Instead of being based solely on a species' age and territory, representation would be determined by a combination of factors including scientific and cultural contributions, peacekeeping efforts, and environmental stewardship. The assembly erupted into heated debate. Many of the younger races were enthusiastically supportive, while some of the ancient species bristled at the idea of losing their privileged positions. As the arguments raged, Zora caught Aiden's eye from across the amphitheater. He gave her a subtle nod. It was time. Zara stood, and a hush fell over the assembly. All eyes turned to the human ambassador. "Esteemed delegates," she began, her voice clear and strong. 20 years ago, humanity was unknown to you. We arrived on the galactic stage full of wonder and curiosity, eager to learn and contribute. You welcomed us, shared your knowledge, and gave us the opportunity to prove ourselves." She paused, looking out over the sea of alien faces. "In return, we've done our best to bring fresh perspectives and innovative solutions to age-old problems. We've shown that progress doesn't have to come at the expense of stability. That change can make us stronger." Zara's voice grew passionate. "But we are not here to replace anyone or to dominate. We are here to collaborate, to be part of something greater than ourselves. The proposed changes aren't about elevating humanity. They're about creating a system that brings out the best in all of us, that encourages every species to contribute their unique strengths to our shared future." She gestured to the diverse crowd. "Look around you. Every being here represents countless worlds, billions of individuals, each with their own dreams and aspirations. We have the power to create a confederation that nurtures those dreams, that pushes us all to be better. A confederation where wisdom of the ages works hand in hand with the energy of youth, where tradition and innovation dance together to create wonders we can't even imagine yet. The amphitheater was silent, all attention focused on Zara. The challenges we face as a galaxy are too great for any one species to solve alone. Climate change, resource depletion, the threat of cosmic phenomena like the void storm. These are problems that require all of us working together at our best. The proposed changes aren't a revolution. They're an evolution, a natural next step in our shared journey among the stars. Zara took a deep breath, preparing for her final push. I stand before you not just as a representative of Earth, but as a citizen of this incredible, diverse galaxy. I've seen firsthand what we can achieve when we combine our strengths. I've watched barriers break down and friendships form across species lines that once seemed insurmountable. This is our chance to formalize that spirit of cooperation, to create a confederation that truly represents the best of all of us. She smiled, her eyes shining with conviction. The universe is vast beyond imagining, full of wonders and dangers we have yet to discover. Let's face that future united, not as ancient or young, big or small, but as equals, each bringing our unique gifts to create something truly extraordinary. Together, we can build a legacy that will shine bright for eons to come. As Zara concluded her speech, the amphitheater erupted into a cacophony of sound. Species that communicated through light flashed in complex patterns, while others vibrated or emitted pheromones. The universal translators struggled to keep up with the flood of responses. Gradually, a consensus began to emerge. Even some of the older, more conservative species were swayed by Zora's vision of a more dynamic and inclusive confederation. The vote, when it came, was decisive. The Galactic Confederation would undergo its most significant restructuring in its million-year history. As the assembly adjourned, Zara found herself surrounded by a whirlwind of alien delegates, all eager to discuss the implications of this momentous decision. But her attention was caught by Aiden, who was practically bouncing with excitement as he approached. "Zara, that was brilliant," he exclaimed. "And the timing couldn't be better. Remember that big breakthrough I hinted at earlier? Well, it's ready. We need to gather the council immediately." Intrigued, Zara followed Aiden to a private chamber where the newly reformed Confederation Council was assembling. The room buzzed with anticipation as Aiden took the floor. "Distinguished council members," he began, barely containing his excitement. "The cosmic convergence has made a discovery that will change everything. We found a way to create stable wormholes between any 2 points in space-time." The room erupted into astonished exclamations. Stable wormhole technology had been the holy grail of faster-than-light travel for millennia. If true, this would revolutionize galactic civilization. Aiden continued, "But that's not all. Our studies indicate that these wormholes could potentially connect to other dimensions, even other universes. We are on the brink of becoming a truly multiversal civilization." The implications were staggering. Not only would this technology allow for instantaneous travel across the galaxy, but it could also open up entirely new realms of existence to explore. As the council debated the ramifications of this discovery, Zara felt a tap on her shoulder. She turned to find Sixtara, its skin shimmering with a mix of awe and amusement. "It seems, Ambassador Chen, that your species is not done reshaping our understanding of the cosmos," the alien said, its mental voice tinged with respect. "I find myself wondering what other surprises humanity has in store for us." Zara smiled, feeling a profound sense of pride and anticipation. "To be honest, High Counselor, I'm wondering that myself. But whatever comes next, I'm glad we'll be facing it together, as true partners in this grand cosmic adventure." As the council meeting adjourned, Zara made her way to the observation deck of the Centaurus Prime space station. The view before her was breathtaking. Countless ships of all shapes and sizes, representing species from across the galaxy, all moving in harmony. She thought back to that fateful day when the ESS Curiosity had first encountered the Confederation fleet. They had come so far since then, facing challenges and achieving triumphs beyond anything they could have imagined. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not by conquest or domination, but by offering a helping hand, a fresh perspective, and an unwavering spirit of exploration and cooperation. The galaxy spread out before her, a glittering tapestry of possibilities. And beyond that, if Aiden's breakthrough proved successful, lay other dimensions, other universes, a multiverse of wonders waiting to be discovered. Zara felt a familiar thrill of excitement, the same feeling she'd had as a young captain setting out into the unknown. The journey ahead would be challenging, filled with obstacles and marvels in equal measure, but they would face it together. Humans, Zuctera, Arcturians, and thousands of other species, each contributing their unique strengths to this grand cosmic endeavor. As she watched a group of newly commissioned ships, a joint human-alien design, prepare for their maiden voyage, Zara couldn't help but smile. This was humanity's gift to the galaxy, not just their technology or their innovations, but their spirit, the drive to explore, to question, to dream big, and work tirelessly to make those dreams a reality. The Galactic Confederation had been forever changed by humanity's arrival, and in turn, humanity had found its true calling as part of this vast, diverse cosmic community. Whatever the future held, they would face it united, pushing the boundaries of what was possible and forging a legacy that would echo across the cosmos for eons to come. As the first rays of Centaurus Prime's sun peeked over the horizon, bathing the station in golden light, Zara felt a sense of profound optimism. The next chapter of their cosmic adventure was just beginning, and she couldn't wait to see where it would lead. The universe, in all its infinite wonder, awaited, and humanity, together with their new galactic family, was ready to embrace it with open arms and boundless curiosity. The best was yet to come.